Number 4, a week or so ago, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, creators and stewards of the beloved cartoon series South Park, announced a deal worth nearly $1 billion over 6 years that will see them expand South Park in a major way, including making a slate of movie-length films from Paramount Plus and more. However, lost in the mix was what appeared to many to be a throwaway line in an article from website Bloomberg, which notes, quote, earlier this year, Stone and Parker established a $600 million credit facility that appraised their library at close to $1 billion, according to people familiar with the terms of the deal. In addition to the movies for Paramount Plus, Parker and Stone are going to use that money to invest in a wide range of creative endeavors, including a documentary series, a weed company, and a 3D video game set in the world of South Park, end quote. Obviously, that last comment is a major note to us here on this podcast because we love South Park and South Park games, and this is the first we've heard of a new game being in the works since Ubisoft released its PS4 RPG South Park The Fractured But Whole in 2017, which itself was a sequel to the Ubisoft-published Obsidian-developed 2014 RPG South Park The Stick of Truth. What the nature of this game could be is anyone's guess, but the idea of it being a 3D is definitely throwing some people off. More interesting is that both Parker and Stone admit that their end goal is to sell South Park completely, raising the possibility that this mystery game may come to life without them, although that's an unlikely possibility. I was interested in that. I didn't realize that they have openly talked about that they just ultimately want to sell this shit and be done. But for now, they're in South Park world, and it's a good world for them to be in indeed. I'm a huge fan of those two role-playing games, and as I've said before, they revitalized a love of South Park in me. I always respected South Park. It just, the years get by, and you're just like, wow, I'm like literally 150 episodes behind or something like that. I have no idea what's going on. And but it remains such a cultural touchstone. It's so fascinating how quickly they can make the episodes, how topical they can be, and how funny and cutting and fair they are. And they often get accused of being right wing. I think they would probably be more considered libertarian, but I love that there's a cultural powerhouse that's willing to take on power structures, regardless of what those power structures are. And so I'm excited about this. But Chris, I'm curious if you were caught up too on this 3D game thing. What I found was so appealing about The Fractured But Whole and The Stick of Truth was that you were playing in South Park. And
yeah,
I feel like those games wouldn't work in any other way. What do you think this game could be? What do you think they mean by 3D? Or do you think that's just someone saying something they don't really know what they're talking about?
I feel like my gut says that it's somebody being like, I feel like my gut is that it's somebody who thinks video games are inherently 3D. Right. You know what I mean? Like, and they just like, 3D video game. And like, they don't know what the hell they're saying. That seems more likely to me than because I think they understand why those games are as good as they are. And it's because it feels like the show, like exactly like the show. To a degree that's like honestly like staggeringly impressive. And breaking that would be interesting. I don't know how they would do that. The only instances of like 3D South Park games we have are like that weird like snowball fighting first person shooter on like the PS1. That's like really terrible. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they if they could somehow like make that style work in 3D, maybe that would be. You know, maybe they could do like something like a Simpsons hit and run type deal, where that was great, you know, but I don't know. This is definitely an interesting idea. And I'm wondering what it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a 3D proper game, though.
What's funny is that when South Park games started coming out on the PS1 and 64, and obviously the handhelds at that time in the late 90s, they weren't able to render what South Park is so rudimentary looking, and those consoles couldn't even make that. So just that PS3 and 360 couldn't make that world and let you play in it means to me it really should take place there. I mean, that's what's so special about it. I'm sorry, Dustin, what is your feeling on this?
The only thing that I was thinking as far as a 3D game, maybe this is just wishful thinking, but I thought of the Alchemy Labs game for Rick and Morty, Virtual Rickality, which is like a really awesome VR Rick and Morty. You know, it's like, I don't know, a few hours long or whatever. And we've heard the creators of South Park kind of, they didn't talk badly about making a game, but they've been on the record saying how hard and how difficult, and it took much more work than they expected. And so something like a South Park VR game could be a lot shorter with still like not a high price tag, but virtual reality, I think, was $30. And it would be a way that you could experience that show in a whole new way, kind of like the Rick and Morty game. Seeing the characters in 3D, though, that I don't know, maybe they could do some kind of weird virtual reality where the characters are still flat. I don't know if that would work. That might be weird, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking about the next PlayStation VR, but I feel like if anyone could really surprise you and make you laugh in the way that a VR experience, it would be them. Like totally.
Yeah. No, without a doubt.
We'll see what happens.
I still have to finish. No, I'm saying I still have to finish those RPGs because like I never finished Stick of Truth. Like I got pretty far in and I was like I don't know what happened. I got like sucked away into other things. But one thing about those games, like the fact that those games were hilarious also. Like there's not really many comedy games anymore. But I feel like it'd be cool to have another one of those, especially from them.
I just absolutely adored those games. I platinumed them both. I just couldn't get enough.